Chapter 20. It was only like 20 minutes after the dine and dip as we were rolling down the road again, and I had a belly full of breakfast when the call came in. I was sitting at one end of the couch, and Salvador was sitting on a box in front of me. Me and him were in the middle of a fairly epic match of Uno, piling up the ratty cards on a suitcase on the floor between us. Ivan was lying half on my lap, nudging my hand any time I had the nerve to stop scratching him. I'd just hit Salvador with a vicious draw four when the moment was interrupted by a jarring, urgent ringtone. Our heads snapped up, but no one moved for a second until Salvador came to his senses and jumped up and tugged the phone out of his pocket and looked at the display. "It's my Tia!" He punched the answer button and dove right into an excited, rapid-fire conversation in Spanish. His eyes were shining and he was wiggling like a puppy as he nodded and answered and questioned. The sun was coming in sideways through the bus windows, warming up his skin to a bright richness and sparkling his eager eyes. That kid was lit up, inside and out. A weird, lumpy, sick feeling settled down in my stomach as I sat there watching Salvador talk to his aunt. It was a strange, sad, kind of nervous, and I didn't like it. And I looked away from Salvador and down at the cat purring in my lap, the cat that was happy and mine and not going anywhere. Salvador ran up to his mom at the front of the bus and handed her the phone and then bounced back my way, swaying with the motion of the bus and standing there like he was too excited to sit down. I slid Ivan off me, ignoring his surly side-eye, and stood up next to Salvador. "So what's up?" I asked in a whisper. "We're back in business," he said. "She lost her phone and her number was in her phone, which is why she wasn't answering or calling back. But she got a new phone and finally got our number through my Tio who lives in Houston." "Okay," I said. "Awesome. So now we have an address to drop you off at." I don't know yet. She was kind of weird about that. She's talking to my mom about it now." His face clouded over and I followed him back up to the front to listen to his mom's half of the conversation, which was all a Spanish mystery to me. Salvador's scowl deepened as he listened, though. Lester, sitting in the seat behind Rodeo, was watching Miss Vega close. Rodeo was tossing glances Miss Vega's way, too. We could all tell something was up. Finally, Miss Vega hung up the phone. She looked out the window and said something to herself under her breath. She closed her eyes and shook her head. "Mama?" Salvador murmured. She looked at him but didn't say anything. "Everything all right there, Miss Vega?" Rodeo asked, his voice soft. Miss Vega swallowed. She lifted her chin. I saw her do it, saw her reach down inside herself and find strength. She was all kinds of strong, that Miss Esperanza Vega. When she spoke, there was no quiver to her voice. "No," she said, soft but clear. "Everything is not all right."